the sweet nectar that's in that beehive, amidst all of that potential harm that could come to you. Riding the beast, you take an untamed animal, you say, well, I don't want to have nothing to do with that wild beast. But you observe to see if you can see some value in that beast. So now we go back to politics. You shouldn't get involved in politics. Well, of course, someone who wants to control you or leave you out so you don't have a say-so, or someone who wants to have favorable numbers will tell you that you shouldn't get involved in politics, because what's happening in politics? There are people that are making decisions that affect your everyday life. So we're Muslims. We said La ilaha illallah. We're Muslims. We took our Shahadas. But within our religion, you have the obligation of doing work and being productive. So we want to go buy a home. We want to own land. Well, how are you going to do all those things? You don't know any laws. So then you see laws that aren't favorable, or laws that contradict your religion. Well, how are you going to have a say-so in changing or making anything if you just have the idea, I don't get involved in politics? Maybe that phrase should say, don't handle situations like a crooked politician. Maybe that's what we need to focus on. But to not have a hand in Shura, because that's really what it is. When you talk about government, they're taking Shura. They are coming together, and they might not be trying to bring out the best for the benefit of humanity. But Imam Wafdi Muhammad, he's speaking when he said that Al-Islam is a democracy. Al-Islam is a democracy. He was talking to a large crowd of people. So he's introducing, he used the word democracy, I think strategically, because he's introducing that those political terms and making them coincide with the religion. So if you have this idea that we shouldn't get involved in politics, then you don't want to hear nothing about democracy, republic, you don't want to hear no political terms, because I'm not supposed to get involved in politics. But what you just did was omitted yourself as a Muslim. Now, what value do you have on yourself? The Muslim is supposed to look at themselves as the most valuable situation, the most valuable. You are supposed to be the most level-headed when you go into a situation where there's nothing but chaos. That's why Shura, it doesn't just mean mutual consultation. How many of us are going to meetings where we taking Shura? Now, we know from going to these meetings when we was young, we know what's getting ready to happen. We're going to be sitting up in there for 5 hours. We got to listen to so-and-so, do all the talking. We got to listen to so-and-so who opposes everything. We don't want to go to the meeting just so we can vote on whether we want to paint the wall pink or white. But it is commanded that the Muslim take Shura. That's just like going into the beehive. Somebody gonna not like what we got to say, somebody gonna do, we gotta come back next week. We didn't really get nothing done. But this is the process that the Muslim has to go through. Because what happens? It only makes you stronger. You learn how to navigate. So our kids is going to school, we going to work. Our kids are subject to public school system, private school system, these different teachers. I've been to PTA meetings. They are in there running that whole area. 5, 6, 7 parents making all the decisions for your kids. You trying to figure out why they changed the lunch menu and why the kids are starting school at 10 a.m. instead of 7 a.m. It's because 6 parents went up there and they took Shura and they made a vote. But you know why they did that? Because they understood that their vote counted. It was that valuable. We have midterms in our local government where you can vote for people that are going to they're not calling the president to get approval. They're not calling the White House to get approval. They're making decisions in your local government that are directly affecting people every single day. making transportation decisions, making decisions on the school system, making decisions on homelessness, making decisions. Now, when we open up the Quran and it says, what is righteousness? It starts to talk about the things that directly affect the people who are living with you, around you, your children, your parents. So if righteousness is to free the slave, feed the homeless, take care of the needy, take care of the orphans, if that's righteousness, then when a decision is being made that directly affects that, why wouldn't you want to put yourself in line to help make the decision that could help people who are in need? This is what the Quran is obligating us to do. So, what is the point of this portion of the Khutbah? I thought that we were coming out of the my vote doesn't count, and as black people, the white man ain't gonna let us do. I thought we were coming out of that. But the more I talk to people, Muslims, Christian, whoever, I understand that the mind state is still there. Well, what am I voting for? And the statistics show that there's an overwhelming number of individuals. We talk about African Americans who didn't vote in the last election because they didn't have any incentive, and Barack Obama wasn't the president. Now, if we do the numbers on your midterms, your local government, them ballots come in, and people throw them in that look like junk mail. Because it's not, we only know about the 4-year votes. Then we take it a step further, or a step down, I should say, and you start talking about your school board and these things, and there's no representation from us. And that's a shame, because these are the things that directly affect us. And so I believe that this is coming from that narrative that your vote doesn't count. I believe that this is a scheme from the shaitan that Muslims shouldn't get involved in politics. But we translate that as we just shouldn't get involved in any forms of politics, any forms of government, because I'm Muslim. The only shura I should take is the shura in my house when we're talking about what we should eat for dinner. I don't need to go to any meetings that are directly affecting me and the people. But in our religion, isn't it obligated that if a Christian church is getting attacked, that we come to its defense? Aren't we obligated that if a synagogue is being attacked, that we come to its defense? Isn't this ingrained in our religion? So why do we think that we should just remove ourselves from anything outside of Al-Islam, when that is Al-Islam? It doesn't say what is righteousness. Take care of the Muslim who's hungry. That's not what it says. Take care of the Muslim who's homeless. Take care of the Muslim who's an orphan. That's not what it says. So we have to go into the beehive. In our local government, we have to go into it's the beehive. It's chaos. You're going to get stung, but you have to go in there because you know that as a Muslim, Allah has blessed you with sanity, and you have the Quran as your guidance and the life of our Prophet as your guidance. So you can go in there and have some influence and pull out that sweet honey. The best, you can go into the belly of the beast and see the value in it. Because we're looking for the Islam in everything. We're looking for the humanity and the civility in every situation. And we know that there's politicians that are corrupt. We know that people are making decisions for their own personal gain. We know all of these things. So if we don't go in there with some representation of righteousness, then who is it going to be? And so we made our money, we got our 401ks, and we retire. And that's even jeopardized now because they start taking away Social Security. But we have our life is good. But then what about our children and our children's children and their children? Our obligation is to humanity, in closing. Our master is Allah. We obey the creator of the heavens and the earth. Freedom freedom, justice, and equality. We are the true representatives of what America claims to be founded upon. Freedom, justice, and equality. These are what Islam promotes. So let us continue to strive to establish righteousness in an unrighteous society. Please join me in doing as a close.